This right here is the Manta Mount from Packible Tool, and today I'm going to show you how to install it. Now, a couple quick notes before we get started with this video. One, there's a bunch of different ways that you can install this product. I'm going to card up the video down below. Please jump to the section that's most relevant to you. Another quick note that is relevant to all applications: you don't need any tools to do this install. You can sort of use the built-in measuring features and eyeball the whole thing. However, your life will be a lot easier if you get yourself a square and a small bubble level, and that will help drastically speed up the installation process. Okay, now one more general note on hardware before we get started. You'll notice the included screws are of a particular length and a particular kind. They're wood screws, and they're meant to penetrate deep enough that you can go through 1/2 inch OSB, 3/4 inch OSB, or those corresponding sizes in plywood as well. They're not meant for sheet metal and certain other applications. So use them where appropriate, and where not appropriate, you can get yourself any standard number 6 bolt or number 8 bolt or sheet metal screw or whatever that you need to mount it to your wall, or sheet metal or whatever. But use the appropriate hardware. If what's included is not wood, go to the hardware store. And most importantly, if you're not on the clock at work, get yourself a beverage and put on some tunes and enjoy the process. Make it fun. All right, so which section should you jump to? Well, that depends on which accessory that you have. If you've got one of these single accessories or these double accessories where you've got the 2 things on the back, jump to section 1. We'll cover these first. You have one of these bad boys where these run left to right. Jump to section 2. We'll cover that second. If you have one of these bad boys, a box of some kind, half width, jump to section 3. And for full width version of this box, it'll be continued at the end of section 3/section 4. And that should just about cover all possible installation necessities. First up, you want to mount one of these on your wall. No big deal. Installation for that is going to be super easy. You're just going to take one of these bad boys, get yourself one of the Manta Mounts, and 4 of the included screws if you're going to be going into wood. And what I recommend doing is figure out where you need to put your first one on the wall. Grab yourself your drill, impact, whatever you want to use, and we're just going to go ahead and get this placed approximately where we want our first one. And we're going to run the very first screw in the bottom corner. Perfect. Then we're going to start off strong using our level. Toss that on top, and we're going to get this bad boy nice and level. And then we're going to pop our second screw in. Now, something to note. When you're putting these screws in, be very particular that you get them centered in the hole. If you get them offset, they will walk, and they will push these around and push them out of square. If you're having trouble, get yourself a drill bit and pre-drill. Or just apply some patience and some skill. It helps to get it centered and then push real hard at the start so that it bites into the wood, and then you don't have any problems. And then you're just going to go ahead and finish it off and blow your last 2 screws in. All right, so you got 4 screws in. There's your single mount, your single accessory. In it goes. It locks in just like that. And boom, Bob's your uncle. You're good to go. Now let's say you got one of these, you got a double. All right, well, this is where we got to start to get clever. I recommend at this point taking your square, set it on top. It'll sit nicely in the grooves. Get it all nice and squared up. Now this is going to be a nice reference, okay? Then you can take a second one of these mounts. So you need 2. Put that one on. Then you're going to use the tabs that are on the edges. See the tabs? Tabs on the sides. You're going to use those as your spacer until they lock in. Let's get a close-up of that. Get that close-up shot here. Use the tabs on the side as your spacer. They'll put the top tab on this one and the bottom tab of here, and the bottom tab on this one and the top tab here. And that is going to give you your vertical spacing. Then I recommend just giving it a nice firm press. Hold it in place. Grab your impact with your screw. Load that up. and then put your first screw right on in. There we go. And if you've done everything right, the sides should be nice and square, and everything here will be hunky-dory. Go ahead and run 3 more screws in, finish that one off. Okay, so you got your tool mounted, your screws finished off, and then beautifully this guy, get our square out of the way. We'll mount right on in there, lock, Bob's your uncle, done. Let's say you've made it thus far. Now you'd like to mount one of these bad boys where it goes left to right. Well, that's the simplest part of the install because it's literally as easy as taking one of these, putting it next to the already existing one. Align the tabs, just make sure this gap is tight, and then you're going to go ahead and run your 4 screws in, which I'm going to do right now. Quick note on the screws, you don't need to send these bad boys home with the impact. Just tighten them snug, good to go. Double wide accessory, slips in, locks, si bueno. All right, now let's say you want to do a half width box. You're going to need a minimum of 4 of these cleats. You don't need the ones in the middle. The majority of your holding power comes from the top 2 and the bottom 2. The middle 2 don't even have wings in the center, only on the outside. 4 of them should be plenty sufficient for a box. So get yourself one of the Manta Mounts and 4 of the included screws if you're going to be going into wood. And what I recommend doing is figure out where you need to put your first one on the wall. Grab yourself your drill, impact, whatever you want to use, and we're just going to go ahead and get this placed approximately where we want our first one. And we're going to run the very first screw in the bottom corner. Perfect. Then we're going to start off strong using our level. Toss that on top, and we're going to get this bad boy nice and level. And then we're going to pop our second screw in. Now, something to note. When you're putting these screws in, be very particular that you get them centered in the hole. If you get them offset, they will walk and they will push these around and push them out of square. If you're having trouble, get yourself a drill bit and pre-drill. Or just apply some patience and some skill. It helps to get it centered and then push real hard at the start so that it bites into the wood, and then you don't have any problems. And then you're just going to go ahead and finish it off and blow your last 2 screws in. Okay, so we got our first one screwed up, leveled, it's in place, and you're going to need 2 of these guys again. You want to take one of these, place it on the wall, and you're going to use this to align the tabs for the spacing. So what we've done is you're going to want to connect them like so and like so to get your spacing vertically. So we've done that here. We've got our spacing vertically, but we need to skip the center row. So we're going to pull this guy out. Since we have our spacing, we're going to put him here and hold him. And then we're going to move this guy down, play a little hopscotch here. And that's where he's going to go. Then you just want to put your first screw in. Take your time with putting the screws in so they don't walk. If you're having trouble with it walking, pre-drill. Again, don't over tighten your screws. You don't need to send them to Kingdom Come. Now that was the tricky part. Once you get the first 2 in and you get the vertical spacing done, the 2 that go to the right of it are as simple as aligning the tabs on both of them and running in the screws, which I'll do now. Okay, so you got your 4 up. You're not gonna need your square anymore. That's all that needed to be done. Now your half width box will just pop on in and boom. Okay, so now you want to set this up for a full width box. In order to do that, again, it's great if you have your square up here for reference. You want to get your 2 vertical pieces done and then add on the ones to the right. If you do the ones to the right first, it makes it very difficult to use these as the spacers. So I don't recommend doing that. I recommend starting with your first one here. We'll transfer it down vertically and then we'll add the 2 to the right. Same process as we did here, just over here. Now, one little note. Let's get in a little closer here. To get your spacing for the middle gap that you're going to have in the packouts, there'll be a gap in the middle here. We've built that dimension in to the cleats as well. So you're just going to bump this gently up against the top of your reference where your ruler is. Hang on to that. This piece on the bottom, this tab to that tab on the bottom, is your measurement in between here. So you're going to use this. It's going to be a little tricky to see, but you get the point. And push these over till you're tight. See if I can get a better angle. You're going to use that in here to get your spacing. Use the little tabs on the bottom to get your spacing. Once you got that done, same thing, run your 4 screws in. Okay, so you got your first one up there. You're gonna wanna go ahead, slide your square over, so you can use it over here now. And you can then, again, using these, you can work your way down, use the spacing of the tabs. Work your way on down until you figure out where that guy's got to go. Then we're just going to hold it in place, screw it down. Okay, so you're not going to need your square anymore. Once you got these first 2 up, then it's just simply a matter of adding 1 to the right of each one of these for your full width box, which is as simple as aligning the tabs, putting that in place, and running your 4 screws in. Then of course you can take your full width box, whatever you have laying around. It's our box with all of our 3D printing stuff in it, but boom, it's mounted. And then if you're wondering about locking, for the little tab on the back, I got another thing I'm going to card to here at the end where I'll show you guys a little project you can do to add that tab. But that should just about do it. So if you look closely at the back of these parts, there's a countersunk hole. I'll show you. These are strategically designed so that this piece can be used as a latch. Now, you have to do a little bit of work to make this into a latch. I recommend taking just a straight piece of scrap wood, screw this down so that your edge is flush. I already did the first one, but we'll also do the second. So get that screwed down just like that. Flip it over so it looks like this. And then take your circular saw, or you could use this, do the same thing on a table saw, and you're going to cut the 2 wings off, like so. And we're back into the power of TV magic, and I was too unsafe to do that while filming. But then you can unscrew this piece. No, this isn't a hack job. This was designed this way. We put the webbing in the back specifically so that when you cut it across, it would make a nice clean surface and you wouldn't have your webs in the way. Even the logo and the front chamfers come out perfectly. Now I already had a half-width box mounted here, but you're just going to flip the handle up, go find your black latch, and you just want to trace with a Sharpie where the latch sits. Then center this piece up on the Sharpie mark and screw it in using the 2 countersunk holes on the back, and watch it in there. Slides right in, and it locks. Fun fact, if you've got things, these double as clips. Conveniently can store a little something out of the way while you're working. They also work great because of the tapered backs for hanging on to other stuff, like conveniently the square. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this installation video helped you out. If you have any questions or comments about the installation, or if there's anything I missed, leave it down in the comments and I'll follow up and help you out in any way I possibly can. Otherwise, all of our contact information is on our website. If you get stuck, shoot us an email, shoot us a message, we'll get you taken care of. Also, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. There's lots of other great content that we post about other than instructional videos, where we bring you guys all kinds of different series, like our 5-minute mod series, where you show you how to do different mods for your packouts in 5 minutes or less. So we have lots of other videos on the channel bringing you value and showing you how to maximize your usage of packouts in your garage, in your vans, anywhere that you use them. But yeah, it would really help us out, and we can make sure that you get to see that content if it's something you're interested in, if you hit that like and subscribe button below. But thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.